Hello everyone, welcome back. It is very late, but day one. So I just decided to go with a basic definition of a sonnet to get me started off. Definition from poets.org. Figure that'd be a good place to start since it's a website about poetry. A 14-line poem written in iambic pentameter, employing one of several rhyme schemes and adhering to a tightly structured thematic organization. It's divided into 3 quatrains, so 3 groups of 4 lines. 3 quatrains and a couplet. So A, B, A, B, C, D, C, D, E, F, E, F, and then G, G for the rhyme scheme. What are sonnets typically about? They were originally influenced by the love poetry of provincial troubadours in the 13th century, and then evolved from that into the sonnets we know now. So love is definitely a major theme of sonnets, but it's kind of, from what I've read, has expanded from simply love to all topics of poetry, whether it's love, life, time, death, eternity, but there's also apparently some religious and political sonnets out there. And that's what I have so far. This first week is going to be a bit hectic, but with work, finishing up some cosplay stuff for the convention on the weekend of the 8th, so that'll be something. Alright, day 1 down. Alright, day 2, iambic pentameter. Did a little looking into iambic pentameter, because it is a key aspect of a sonnet, but what does it mean? How does knowing what it is help me learn a sonnet? Well, I'm about to find out and tell you. The definition from poets.org for iambic pentameter is a rising meter form consisting of 5 pairs of unstressed and stressed syllables as 5 iambic feet per line. Syllables are feet, basically. It's a traditional meter type, is found in classical French and Italian poems, and was first used in English by Geoffrey Chaucer. Now the pattern for iambic pentameter is written out ta-dum, 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 ta-dum. So it seems that iambic pentameter, from what I've read, has a rather lyrical quality that has a pleasing rhythm to the ear, and that it has adapted a lot over time and across languages. So, knowing the structure of iambic pentameter, I now know where the syllables get their stresses, and yeah, know where the accents should be. So I didn't film for day 3 because I was just much too exhausted. I'm very tired again. So let me just go over what I looked at on day 3, since I kind of ran out of time. Forgot to bring this with me to work to look at. So just looked at some Shakespeare sonnet facts, mostly just at Wikipedia to see what was there. Shakespeare wrote 154 sonnets. They were first published in 1609 in a quarto. There's also 6 sonnets included in some plays, like Romeo and Juliet, Henry V, and Love's Labour's Lost. Sir Thomas Wyatt and Henry Howard, Earl of Surrey, were the first to write in the sonnet form used by Shakespeare. Interesting little tidbit there. And Henry Howard is connected to Anne Boleyn, and that's some fun history there. Themes covered are the passage of time, love, infidelity, jealousy, beauty, and mortality. The sonnets are addressed to a fair youth, the dark lady, and a rival poet. So you could say that they're the characters of the sonnets. And then, just as out of curiosity, I looked up the top 10 sonnets from Shakespeare, and this is from poemanalysis.com. Numbers 18, 27, 29, 98, 104, 106, 116, 129, 130, 134 are the top 10 sonnets. Not listed in the order they gave on the website, but those are the top 10. And then There was another site, I didn't mark it down which one it was, but I had like the top 25. A few of the repeats were 18, 116, 104, 130, and 129. The rest were different ones, which leads me to what I did today. I decided to skim through the sonnets and sort of make a list of the ones that I had already marked in here. You can kind of see my little pages in there. I'm not writing in this book. This book is way too old. But yeah, I'll start with, let's see, number 12 was one initial choice, but after looking at the one before it, number 11, there's a potential one there as well. Number 65 is a potential. It's time-based. It seems a bit heavy. It also has a line that is paraphrased in the Nightwish song Gethsemane. Also number 66, slightly lighter, but has a little bit of potential. Number 106 is interesting. It has some literary hints to it. Not really a potential, just an interesting one. But 116 is a popular one and possibly a serious contender. It's a sonnet that I first heard pieces of in Emma Thompson's Sense and Sensibility film, so it does have the advantage of having memorability. Number 140, one that's not really a contender, it popped out at me. One little phrase, pity wanting pain, which I remembered is also a phrase featured in a Nightwish song called Kinslayer. Number 15, just wrote it has a bit of potential, so not a serious contender, but just one worth considering. Number 27 could be an interesting one to do, also for the fact that it deals with sleep, and I'm very sleepy. And then the last one I have on here is number 71, which has some potential, but I put stars next to my little notes here for the ones to look at a little more. Potential, it's about death, and it's also interesting. There's one paraphrased line in it that is used in the Nightwish song Dead Boy's poem. So as you can tell, the themes I was looking for the sonnets were death and time, although the sleep one was rather interesting. So I'll probably look at those more in depth either tomorrow or the day after. I have a lot of prep to do for convention this weekend. Yeah. And some sleep to catch up on. Day 5, and the terrible lighting continues, at least for now. So I decided to go look at the sonnets I mentioned yesterday a little bit more. Did a quicker scan through them to kind of get a feel and get a first impression on them, and to see if they're actually contenders for what I want to do. So basically I looked at 7 of the sonnets. So the first one was sonnet number 12. I'll just read off the first line. When I do count the clock that tells the time. The speaker seems to be comparing the death/loss of a lover, that it's like turning day turning to night, dried leaves in piles. It comes off as kind of depressing. Sonnet number 19. Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws. The speaker saying basically, do whatever you want to the world, but let their lover be always beautiful. And then saying, time, you're going to do whatever you want anyway, but their love will live forever, young in the poem. It's alright. I think I might put a question mark next to that one to look at again. Sonnet number 64, which I miscalled 65 yesterday. When I have seen by time's fell hand defaced. The speaker is thinking about time's nature and its changing effects and what that means to their love. I do rather like this one. The couplet at the end is quite good. So that one is definitely a contender. Sonnet number 71. No longer mourn for me when I am dead. The speaker telling their love not to mourn forever, think fondly of the person basically when they see the poem. It's rather sad. There's plenty of good lines, but I don't think it's really a contender for this. It's just a bit too sad. And then the very popular sonnet number 116, Let Me Not to the Marriage of Two Minds. About love, of course. The speaker wants their love to be a constant, sort of ideal love that time can't change, and sort of dares to be proven wrong. I'd say it's still a contender, I think. I'll have to read it again. Then went back to number 106, When in the Chronicles of Wasted Time. The speaker, I believe, is saying poets of old would have had a difficult time describing the beauty of their lover, but even now lack the skill to express their admiration. This is an interesting one that I need to think about some more also. So, got 2 with a question mark and 2 very strong contenders. So, day 6. So, I'm going to start reading through the 2 major possibilities and then the 2 possibilities. Basically the ones that I marked with arrows and the 2 that I marked with question marks. So that's 4 sonnets that I'm going to look at to see which one I like the best. It's probably going to be one of the 2 that have the arrows next to it. I just kind of want to read them out loud. Alright, so we're going to start with sonnet number 64. When I have seen by time's fell hand defaced the rich, proud cost of outworn buried age, this thought is as a death which cannot choose, but weep to have that which it fears to lose. Some interesting repetition. This is the other option, the famous one, number 116, one of the more popular ones. Let me not to the marriage of true minds admit impediments. Love is not love which alters when it alteration finds, or bends with the remover to remove. Oh no, it is an ever fixed mark. If this be error and upon me proved, I never writ, nor no man ever loved. I feel like I've heard that line in something else. So the fact that 116 is well known could also be a disadvantage, because people kind of know what to expect. That one's getting a question mark, so I'm starting to like number 64 a bit more. Number 19. Devouring time, blunt thou the lion's paws, and make the earth devour her own sweet brood. Pluck the keen teeth from the fierce tiger's jaws, and burn the long-lived phoenix in her blood. Yet do thy worst, old time, despite thy wrong. My love shall in my verse ever live young. What's funny is the poem before that is, Shall I compare thee to a summer's day? So, X out. It's a good sonnet, but not for what I want to do. Let's see, the other one I had a question mark by was number 106. When in the chronicle of wasted time I see descriptions of the fairest whites, and beauty making beautiful old rhyme, in praise of ladies dead and lovely knights. For we, which now behold these present days, have eyes to wonder, but lack tongues to praise. So this one has some weird rhyming and some not rhyming. Weird pronunciation. So let me go 64 and 116 again. I feel like I'd have to put on an accent to read some of this. Defaced, raised, age, rage, gain, main, shore, store, state, ruminate, decay, away, choose, lose. Minds, finds, love, remove, mark, bark, shaken, taken, cheeks, weeks, come, doom, proved and loved. So, as much as I like 116, I don't think it proves itself well, would prove itself well for what I want to do. I don't know, it's just something about 64. Okay, I think I've decided. I think it's going to be sonnet number 64. It's not in that top 10 list that I saw, nor the top 25 list that I saw. So, it looks like sonnet number 64 is going to be the one that I memorize. Alright, so it's Wednesday, and this weekend is going to be crazy because it's convention weekend, so I'm going to do what I can when I can. First week down, basically. Yeah, long way to go. Alright, so it's a quick day 7 update. I'm going to do a handwritten copy of or maybe not a handwritten copy. I might just do a photocopy of the poem and have that with me to take to the convention this weekend so I can look at it when I have some downtime. Awkward timing for the convention, but, you know, it is what it is.